Good morning and welcome. There are chairs open at the front of the room, and I think people should come forward and sit down. Good morning. My name is Vicki Davis, and it is a tremendous honor and pleasure to be here, even on a kind of rainy day. This groundbreaking has been almost 12 years in the making. And only for the last 4 of those has our team really been a part of it. Before that, it was really an initiative of the community and of the city, and a vision that the city and the community had together. And it is absolutely amazing for us to be able to follow that lead. This tent is full of people who participated in this endeavor. And so I'm going to try and probably fail to recognize all of those who were involved. And I'd like to start with our Honorable Mayor, Muriel Bowser. I know this is your home ward, and I know this project is very close to her heart. I'd like to follow up with our own councilman, Ward 4 Councilman Brandon Todd. Councilman Todd is one of those council people who's there at just about every ANC meeting and in his community. I'd also like to recognize the Honorable Ward 5 Councilman Kenyan McDuffie. Successful projects have many parents, and one of the most important parents that we've had is actually the chairman of ANC 4A, Steve Watley. He's been a peacemaker, he's brought people together, and he's been a fierce champion of reconnecting this community with the surrounding community, which is one of the most wonderful in all of DC. We're also joined by ANC 4B Chairman Andre Carley, who too is very, very important in terms of leading the surrounding neighborhood. I'm not going to read out the names of all of the ANC members because we would be here very long. I'd also like to recognize Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner, who really brought together a vision for this development. But perhaps most importantly for our city is that we have a local redevelopment authority, its own body, that has taken care of this development process over the last 10 years plus. I'm proud to introduce and be affiliated with Randall Clark, who is not only a neighbor, but a true leader in this community. I'd also like to recognize Malika Abernathy, who has been in many government positions, including the Redevelopment Authority and the Office of Planning, to help guide the vision at this site. The development team has many partners. When we put together our proposal, there were 80 professionals who all worked together in a room. I'm rounding down. So I'm not going to introduce them all, but I would like to introduce our partners at Hines and Triden. And so actually I'd really like for our partners at Hines to all stand. And I'd like to first recognize Chuck Waters and Katie Wysek, who is the principal in charge, Mary Thomas, who is the construction manager, Don Marcus, who put together this entire event, Pat Matt Mullins, who is our engineer's engineer, and Michael Green, among many others. I'd like to recognize our partners at Triden, Michael Jones and Curtis Williams. Perhaps closest to my heart are my partners at Urban Atlantic, Scott Nordheimer and Lois Freed, the lady who's been doing all of the heavy lifting behind this development, our Director of Public and Private Ventures, Caroline Kenny, and Kelly Brooks, our finance partner. Projects like this do not happen without a really, really high level of trust. And here today with us, we have our banker, Matt Ladick, who's a senior vice president at Eagle Bank, which is a community bank and invests in their communities. We have additional development partners, Alex Ross from Toll Brothers, Robert Smith and Lee Brody from Weingarten. And I'd like to tell you about the people who help make the community's vision a reality. They are our team of designers, and they include Torty Gallus, with John Torty and Tom Gallus, but also, importantly, a lady who led a very big team of obstreperous people. Her name is Elena Romero, and she pulled us all together. Our engineers at Bowman, who really make sure that everything works technically. Our arts partners at Artomatic and Cultural DC. And importantly, partners that we have come to know and work well with at our other components on the site, because this is complicated. It's not just us. There's the DCI school, whose students are singing today. We're very excited about that. I can't wait. Led by Mary Schaffner, who's put her heart and soul into this new school. The Lamb School, Diane Kottman, Howard University, Tony Freeman, Children's National Medical Center, Charles Weinstein and Marshall Summers, and the Department of State, also a neighbor, with Jeffrey Hunt. This is not an exclusive list, but it's all I'm going to show you today. And so to our partners, thank you. To our community, we love you. We're going to make a great place for everybody here. Thank you. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce our mayor, Muriel Bowser.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you. Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. I am very delighted to be here. I know we were here just a few months ago to celebrate the transfer of this incredible parcel of land from the federal government to the District of Columbia. And I want to thank all of the partners at Hines, Urban Atlantic, and Triden for the wonderful plan that they have advanced and for all of the work that they have put into getting us to this point. And as Vicki noted, there have been so many people who have been part of this process for 12 years, and I think she named them all. And I want to especially pause and recognize all of the commissioners, all of the authority members from the community who have been steadfast in arguing for a fantastic project. So for the Walter Reed Development Authority, if you're here, stand up, because I want to give you a big cheer. Stand up. All of the commissioners and certainly Councilmember Todd and his office who have ensured that this project has not missed a beat. We know what will happen here. It will be a fantastic collection of housing and retail and park space and a wonderful school. We have 66 acres between Georgia Avenue and Rock Creek Park in a really prime location in our city. And already the energy around the redevelopment of Walter Reed is telling to the development community and business community that Upper Georgia Avenue's time has come. Right, that's good news. I see construction just across from the campus, part of which we're doing, part is a private development, and we're also focused at Georgia and Eastern Avenue. That energy has been building for a while, and when people see shovels in the ground, when investors see opportunities here, we know that the remainder of Upper Georgia Avenue will fill in as well. We will be very proud also to open Engine 22, and I want to thank 4B and 4A for your focus on Engine 22. I think there was a little water hiccup there that's been resolved, and to talk to all of the people at the fire department, and now the project is going full steam ahead. We also are very happy that DCI will find its permanent home here at Walter Reed. Let's hear it for DCI. They tell me that 775 kids could be here as early as this summer. And that's really fantastic news for a growing and very successful school in our community. And to all of the commissioners who have been focused on making sure that the kids will have a safe route to school, DDOT is working on that too, I can assure you. So just know that this project represents an incredible investment, not just for Ward 4, but for the entire Upper Georgia Avenue corridor in the upper part of Washington, D.C. We will continue to follow it. We will continue to make sure it has the resources that it needs, and we will continue to hit milestone after milestone until we build out this lovely campus. So again, I wanted to be here to congratulate the partners for getting started on this infrastructure work that we're about to see, all of the community members, and certainly my friends on the council, including the chair of the Committee on Business Development, who couldn't be with us this morning, but our Councilmember Brandon Todd as well, who makes sure we have what we need from the council to keep this project going. So once again, congratulations and thank you.
It is my great pleasure to introduce the girls' choir from the DCI school.
They both seem to become one. A sea full of sharks and they all smell blood. They start coming, I start rising. Must be surprising, I'm just surmising. I win, thrive, soar, higher, 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 more fire. To fight, to conquer, to thrive. I came to win, to survive, to prosper, to rise, to Everybody wanna try to box me in, suffocate every time it locks me in, painting their own pictures and they crop me in, but I will remain where the top begins, cause I am not a word, I am not a line, I am not a girl that can ever be defined, I am not fly, I am levitation, I represent an entire generation, I hear the criticism loud and clear, this is how I know that the time is near, and we become alive in the time of fear, and I ain't got no time to spare, cry my eyes out for days upon days, such a heavy burden place to plumb me, but when you go hard, you ain't coming, Nike stadiums and
I came to win, to fight, to conquer, to rise. I came to win, to survive, to prosper, to rise, to fly. To fly.
So I'm Chuck Waters, Senior Managing Director at Hines, the second part of the triumvirate here. And it just, while I was listening to the young ladies sing, it occurred to me that a lot of what we do in development is creating places where people want to be. And I was just imagining how nice it would be to be a resident of the Parks of Walter Reed and hear the choir practicing. Anyway, it's my privilege to introduce Councilman Brandon Todd. I first met Brandon at an ICSC function a few years ago, I think before he was in his current position, but he was a Ward 4 resident and a fierce advocate for the development of Walter Reed. And so we were privileged when we won to be able to continue to work with Councilman Todd in his current position. He has been a consistent and staunch advocate that has helped us in any way that he can, and we're privileged to be able to work with him. So, Councilman Todd.
Thank you, Chuck, and good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mayor Bowser, to the Deputy Mayor for Planning and Economic Development, representatives from the Master Development Team of Hines, Urban Atlantic, and Triden. Thank you to the Walter Reed Local Redevelopment Authority members who Mayor Bowser acknowledged, members of Advisory Neighborhoods Commissions 4A and 4B who have hosted, along with the government, hundreds of meetings over the last decade to make sure that this project moved forward. My name is Brandon Todd, and I have the privilege to represent the best 82,000 residents that the District of Columbia has to offer, Ward 4. And what an exciting morning it is as we officially break ground on the parks at Walter Reed and usher in a new era of prosperity and economic development here in Ward 4. I say all the time that Walter Reed represents the single greatest economic development opportunity that the District of Columbia will see for generations. With 3.1 million square feet of mixed-use development, including affordable and market rate housing, retail, office, scientific research, as well as green space and public space for residents and cultural amenities. $1 billion of direct investment that will create thousands of jobs and tens of millions of dollars in annual revenue for the District of Columbia to reinvest in critical services for DC residents and DC businesses. It is truly an exciting time for Ward 4 and the District of Columbia as a whole, as we witness the transformation of over 66 acres in the heart of Upper Northwest Washington, D.C., become a vibrant and energetic city center. Working in concert with Mayor Bowser and many people across our government and neighbors and the private sector, I am confident that we have charted a course that will meet the needs of residents and businesses for many years to come. I look forward to continuing to work with all stakeholders in this vital effort, and I remain a committed partner in a responsible, sustainable, and inclusive redevelopment of Walter Reed, which is the economic engine of upper Northwest Washington, D.C. Now, I'm ready to turn some dirt. All right, thank you.
It is with great pride and joy that I introduce our partner, Chuck Waters from Hines. He has worked hand in hand with us for the last almost 5 years on getting to the starting point on Walter Reed. He's been tireless, he's been fearless, he's been strong, and very, very collaborative. He listens well, and that's probably the most important thing in a partner. So it's with great pleasure that I introduce Chuck Waters.
I like the listening well part. I think my wife would disagree with that. So on behalf of the Master Development Team, which is a triumvirate of Hines, Urban Atlantic, and Triden, we're pleased to be celebrating this momentous occasion of a groundbreaking of the 66 acres at Walter Reed, the parks at Walter Reed. The mayor asked earlier, well, what are we actually groundbreaking? And I said, well, we're going to dig the dirt here, but there is going to be a lot of digging before you see things coming up. But I think one of our great opportunities here is to take what is an historic and beautiful property and transform it into something that once again will be a center of activity and recreation for the entire community. Walter Reed truly is a special site within the district, and it has a storied history that has touched many nationally and here in the community. We became very aware of this during in 2013 when we were proposing and in a competition for the project, because so many people would come up afterwards and have personal reminiscence about being here, or their family, or someone being treated at the hospital complex. And so it has a meaning, I think, above and beyond what you would normally find on a project. And we feel very committed to trying our best to build off of this beautiful space that we're in and create something special. The first phase of the land development will occur this year with the installation of a new water main along Main Drive that will provide, the water service for the southern half of the property. And then the other activity that I think many of you have been anxiously awaiting is the commencement of demolition of the large, concrete structure that was the hospital here. And getting to this point has taken a lot of work by a number of people, and Vicki has already recognized a good deal of them, so I'm not going to repeat that. But I would like to again thank Mayor Bowser and her team, Deputy Mayor Brian Kenner, Martine Kambal, who was Randall Clark's predecessor at DemPed, have been really great to work with. And these public-private partnerships are difficult because there's a shared vision, but to get to that vision and to really have everyone collaborate and bring the projects together takes a lot of work. But I'm convinced that nothing that's truly valuable is easy to accomplish. And so you go through a trial of fire, and I think everyone comes out of that with, we're going to have a project that's going to be for the community, and it's because there's an active engagement on the part of numerous parties to make this what it can be. And with that, I think I'll close my remarks. I do have a heartfelt thanks to our partners, Urban Atlantic, and also Triden development. You never quite know what you're going to encounter when you come into a partnership, and it better work because we've got another 10 or 12 years working together on this together. But I think that it has been truly a great collaboration because we all are on the same page, and that is we want to develop the best community that we possibly can for Ward 4 and the District of Columbia at large. So with that, I'd like to introduce actually, I have the privilege of introducing Michael Jones, who is one of the principals at Triden and who has been working with us tirelessly to help, bring this project together. Thanks.
I have a confession to make. When I saw my name in the program, I just thought I was going to stand and wave, so I don't have prepared remarks. But I will tell you that this is very personal for us. We've invested a lot of money and time. We're sort of organic to this community. My sister lives nearby, and we have been working very diligently to try to make sure that this is going to be the sense of place that everybody envisions it to be, that it will be receptive to kids and the arts, that we will have new residents and new revenue, that we will have retail and amenities that currently aren't available in this section of the city. So I just want to reiterate our commitment, our thanks, our appreciation for the confidence from the community, and we look forward to a highly successful project. Thank you.
I would also, it's my privilege to introduce Vicki Davis, who any of you who have worked with her knows she's a dynamo and makes my job a lot easier because to the extent I'm not covering it, I know Vicki's already covered it 3 times over. So, Vicki.
I knew today that people before me would say all kinds of great things about Walter Reed. But I'd like to start with what's coming first, because it's really important. And I see Polly McDowell in the first row, and she's the head of DHCD. But before that, she was the head of a company called THC that's now housing up, that actually is indicative of the caring in this community. They help households out of poverty. And so they'll be having their offices at this site as one of the first developments. We also have a development funded by DHCD that will be developed by HELP. And for those of you who don't know, HELP is an organization that helps formerly homeless veterans. And that seems very appropriate to me for Walter Reed. DHCD also has funded seniors housing on site. This ward has one of the largest senior populations in the city. And so we're delighted that that's one of the first things coming. The school surprised us all and got under construction well before maybe even we closed. But they're going to be open for school this year, which is pretty cool. And nobody has worked harder for that than Mary. So I've been thinking about words that capture the spirit of Walter Reed. Important: honor, valor, soul, healing, commitment, and community. And the community owns this. We have very tough taskmasters in the community, really. We've had hundreds of meetings, and we appreciate it. And we have tough taskmasters at the LRA. They keep us on the straight and narrow. And right down to the smallest thing of, well, what are you going to do for a rodent plan? At which point Mr. Watley sent me a template for a rodent plan. So even the smallest things are big things and matter here. There is really community ownership, and we're excited to move forward and make this a really great place and celebrate the great place it already is. We called it the Parks because just look around. It's probably one of the best assets of Northwest DC, if not the city as a whole. Everybody in the world knows where this is. It's that momentous, and so we're going to treat it with great care and work very hard to meet all of your goals. So thank you very much.
Yeah, they were going to do it right now. Sir.
Down in front, please.
Sir.
Where's Caroline? Where's Katie? Caroline? Where are you?
Down in front, please.
Down in front, please.
Caroline. Mr. Watley?
Where's Mr. Watley?
All tall people in the back. All tall people in the back.
Okay, on the count of three, we're going to say, please. Let's say, Walter Reed. 1, 2, 3, Walter Reed!
Smiling this time. Looking to your right, please.